They told us the world is cruel. They told us people will break you, use you, leave you. They said if you don't learn to hate, you won't survive. But what if they were wrong? What if the strongest people in this world are not the ones who hold grudges, but the ones who choose peace when pain gives them every reason to be bitter? You don't wake up one day and decide to be cold. You become cold after being hurt too many times, after trusting the wrong people, after loving with your whole heart and getting silence in return, and slowly, quietly, without noticing, you start believing that hating is easier than feeling. But listen closely, hate is heavy. It chains you to moments that already ended. It steals your sleep, your smile, your future. You don't need hate to protect yourself. You don't need anger to prove your strength. You don't need bitterness to survive. Because the truth is, it's not impossible to hate, but it is powerful to choose not to. Today, this message is for every girl who has been hurt, misunderstood, or made to feel small, for every heart that still wants to love but is scared to try again. This is your reminder that softness is not weakness, and kindness is not surrender. This is your moment to rise above the pain and become someone the world cannot break. You were not born with hate in your heart. No child opens their eyes to this world wanting to carry bitterness, resentment, or anger inside their chest. Hate is not natural. It is taught slowly, silently, through moments that leave scars. It comes after the nights when you cried and no one came, after the promises that were made and then broken without explanation, after the people you trusted turned away like you never mattered. Hate grows when pain stays too long inside a heart that was never shown how to heal. And once it takes root, it feels like protection. It feels like armor. It feels like the only way to survive a world that keeps showing you its sharp edges. But armor is heavy, and when you wear it every day, it doesn't just protect you from pain, it also blocks you from joy. It closes doors you never meant to shut. It turns your heart into a locked room where even hope feels like a stranger. You may think hate makes you strong, but it only teaches you how to hide. It convinces you that feeling nothing is safer than feeling everything. It whispers that if you stop caring, you will stop hurting. Yet the truth is, the more you try to numb yourself, the more distant you become from the person you were always meant to be. Pain changes people, not because they want to change, but because they don't want to feel that pain again. They build walls, not to keep others out, but to keep themselves from falling apart. And slowly, those walls become a prison. You wake up and realize you don't laugh the same way anymore. You don't trust the same way anymore. You don't dream the same way anymore. You carry memories like weights in your pocket, TS, dragging you down every step you take. You tell yourself you're fine, but deep inside you know you are just surviving, not living. Hate tells you that the world is against you, that everyone is selfish, that love always ends in loss. It feeds you stories that make you feel justified in your anger. It reminds you of every wrong, every betrayal, every moment you felt invisible. It keeps replaying the past like a broken song, making sure you never forget what hurt you. But the past is not your home. It is a place you visit to learn, not a place you are meant to stay. When you live in it too long, it steals your present and clouds your future. There is a quiet kind of strength that comes from choosing peace when you could choose bitterness. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't demand attention. It simply exists, steady and calm, like a deep breath in the middle of chaos. Choosing peace does not mean you pretend nothing happened. It means you refuse to let what happened define who you are. It means you acknowledge the pain without letting it control you. It means you stand up every day and decide that your heart is still worth protecting, not with anger, but with understanding. You don't heal by becoming cold. You heal by becoming honest with yourself about what you feel. You heal by allowing yourself to grieve what you lost, even if no one else understands why it mattered so much to you. You heal by giving yourself permission to be human, to be fragile, to be real. Strength is not about how much you can carry, it is about how much you are willing to release. And sometimes, letting go is the bravest thing you can do. Hate keeps you tied to people who no longer deserve a place in your life. It makes them powerful even when they are gone. It gives them control over your emotions, your thoughts, your peace. Every time you replay their words, every time you relive their actions, you give them another moment of your life. But you deserve better than to be a prisoner of someone else's choices. You deserve to move forward, to grow, to become someone who is no longer defined by what hurt them. There is a difference between remembering and living. Remembering teaches you what to avoid. Living teaches you what to embrace. You can honor your past without letting it haunt you. You can acknowledge your scars without reopening the wounds. Your story does not end where you were broken. It continues where you decide to rise. And rising does not always look loud or dramatic. Sometimes it looks like choosing not to react, choosing not to carry what no longer serves you, choosing to protect your peace even when others do not understand it. Love is risky, trust is risky, opening your heart is risky, but closing it forever is a greater risk. Because when you shut yourself off, you don't just avoid pain, you also avoid connection, growth, and the chance to experience something beautiful again. The world may have shown you its darkest side, but that does not mean Lee no longer exists. It simply means you have seen how valuable it truly is. You are not weak for wanting to believe in people again. You are not foolish for hoping that things can be different. Hope is not denial. It is courage. It is the decision to keep going even when your heart feels tired. It is the quiet voice inside you that says there is more waiting for you than what you have already lost. And that voice is worth listening to. Every time you choose understanding over anger, you break a cycle. Every time you choose compassion over resentment, you change your own story. You are not responsible for what happened to you, but you are responsible for what you do with it. You can let it harden you, or you can let it teach you. You can let it close you off, or you can let it guide you toward a deeper sense of self. The choice is yours, even when it feels impossible. It is not easy to let go of hate. It feels familiar. It feels safe. It feels like a shield, but safety built on bit. Our nest is still a cage, and you were not meant to live behind bars made of your own pain. You were meant to breathe freely, to feel deeply, to love boldly. You were meant to experience life, not just endure it. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself. You blame yourself for trusting, for caring, for not seeing the signs sooner. You replay moments wondering what you could have done differently. But you did the best you could with the knowledge you had at the time. You acted from a place of hope, not foolishness. And that is something to be proud of, not ashamed of. Self-forgiveness is where real healing begins. The world does not need another heart hardened by pain. It needs people who have been broken and still choose kindness, people who have been hurt and still choose to love, people who have seen darkness and still search for light. This is how change happens, not through anger, but through understanding, not through walls, but through bridges, not through hate, but through courage. You are allowed to move on. You are allowed to be happy again. You are allowed to create a life that feels peaceful, even if it looks different from what you once imagined. Your future does not have to be a reflection of your past. It can be a new chapter written with intention and hope, and every day you get to choose what you carry forward and what you leave behind. There will be moments when old feelings try to return, when memories resurface, when anger whispers that it would be easier to stay guarded, but you are stronger now. You have grown, you have learned. And you know that peace is not found by holding on, but by letting go. You know that your heart deserves more than a lifetime of bitterness. Hate is loud, but peace is steady. Hate is heavy, but peace is freeing. Hate keeps you stuck, but peace allows you to move forward. And when you choose peace, you choose yourself, you choose your future, you choose the possibility of something better. You don't need to see airy what was never meant to stay. You don't need to prove your strength by how much pain you can hold. True strength is knowing when to release. True courage is choosing to love again, even when it feels risky. True freedom is allowing your heart to remain open in a world that tries to close it. You don't heal by pretending nothing happened. You don't heal by smiling when your heart is tired. You don't heal by telling yourself you are strong while everything inside you feels broken. Healing begins when you stop running from what you feel and finally allow yourself to sit with it, when you stop asking why you're still hurting and start asking what your pain is trying to teach you. Because pain is not your enemy, it is a message. And every message, no matter how heavy, carries a truth meant to set you free. For so long you learned to hide. You learned to say you are okay when you were falling apart. You learned to laugh when your chest felt heavy. You learned to stay quiet because you were afraid your emotions would be too much for others. So you swallowed your tears, you swallowed your anger, you swallowed your disappointment, And over time, you started to believe that being silent was the same as being strong. But silence is not strength. It is just a place where feelings go to grow in the dark. When you deny your emotions, they do not disappear, they wait. They settle into your body, into your breath, into the way you see yourself. They show up as exhaustion, as distance, as a quiet sadness you cannot explain. They make you feel disconnected from your own life, like you are watching it happen instead of truly living it. And the longer you ignore them, the louder they become. Until one day you realize you have been carrying a weight you never named. Being honest with yourself is not easy. It means admitting that you were hurt. It means accepting that some people you loved did not treat you the way you deserved. It means recognizing that you stayed longer than you should have because you were afraid to let go. Honesty asks you to face the truth without blaming yourself for feeling it. It asks you to look at your reflection and say, "This is where I am and this is how I feel." Without judgment, you are not broken for feeling deeply. You are not weak for needing time. You are not wrong for wanting to be understood. Your emotions are not something to fix or erase. They are something to listen to. They are the language of your heart, telling you what matters, what hurts, what needs care. When you honor them, you begin to heal. When you ignore them, you only delay the process. So many people believe healing means becoming untouchable. They think it means building walls so high that nothing can reach them again. They believe it means becoming cold, distant, unreachable. But that is not healing. That is hiding. True healing does not make you harder. It makes you softer in the right ways. It allows you to feel without being consumed. It teaches you how to protect your heart without closing it completely. You don't have to carry everything alone. You don't have to prove how much pain you can handle. You don't have to pretend you are stronger than you feel. Strength is not about endurance. It is about hones. Thank you. It is about saying, "This hurts and I need time." It is about allowing yourself to rest when you are tired, to cry when you are overwhelmed, to ask for support when you need it. There is freedom in naming your pain. There is power in saying what you have been holding inside. When you give your feelings a voice, they lose their control over you. They no longer live in the shadows. They no longer define you. They become part of your story, not the whole of it. And in that space, you find clarity, you find understanding, you find a deeper connection to yourself. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to become someone who no longer accepts what once felt normal. Healing means learning new boundaries, new ways of loving, new ways of caring for yourself. It means choosing what feels peaceful over what feels familiar. It means trusting that you deserve more than survival. Every step you take toward honesty is a step toward freedom. Every moment you choose to ace your feelings instead of running from them, you reclaim a part of yourself. You become more present, more aware, more alive. You stop living in reaction and start living with intention. Your heart does not need to be fixed. It needs to be heard. It needs to be treated with patience and kindness. You have spent so much time being strong for everyone else. Now it is time to be gentle with yourself. Now it is time to let yourself heal, not by becoming cold, but by becoming real. There is a moment after heartbreak when you promise yourself you will never feel like that again. You say you will never trust so easily, never open your heart so wide, never let someone see you the way they once did. It feels like a vow of protection. It feels like control. But what you are really doing is building a future around fear. And fear, no matter how careful it sounds, slowly shrinks your world. Loving again does not mean forgetting what hurt you. It does not mean pretending everything will be perfect. CT this time, it means choosing courage even when your heart remembers pain. It means stepping forward with awareness instead of walls. You are not the same person you were before. You have learned, you have grown, you have seen what you need and what you will no longer accept. That wisdom is your shield now, not distance. Your heart may hesitate. It may question every new connection. It may search for signs of danger in moments that are meant to feel safe. This is not weakness. This is memory trying to protect you, but protection does not have to mean isolation. You can move slowly. You can take your time. You can allow yourself to feel without rushing or forcing anything. Trust is rebuilt one honest moment at a time. You are not late to love. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. Every experience you have lived has shaped you into someone deeper, stronger, more aware. The love you offer now is wiser. The love you receive now will meet a version of you that knows tea. air worth. You no longer chase what hurts. You no longer settle for what feels empty. You choose what feels real. Opening your heart again is an act of faith, not faith in another person, but faith in yourself. Faith that you can handle whatever comes, faith that you can walk away if something is not right, faith that you will not lose yourself for someone else. This is what courage looks like, not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. There is beauty waiting for you in places you have not yet imagined. There are connections that will feel like home. There are moments that will remind you why your heart was made to feel so deeply. Do not let past pain convince you that joy is no longer meant for you. You are allowed to begin again. You are allowed to hope again. You are allowed to love again.